Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh once again. I am the cycling Canadian, and I have a bit of a bureaucratic adventure ahead of me today. I'm calling this an adventure because I really don't know what's going to happen. My visa process for Bangladesh hasn't been the smoothest or the most understandable. It started when I got a visa on arrival at the airport, and then, as that visa was getting close to expiring, I went to the immigration office and I applied for a 30-day extension, which is fairly standard here as a tourist. You can get a 30-day visa on arrival at the airport, if you're lucky, and then you can apply for one visa extension for an additional 30 days, and that's what I did. The problem is that when I applied for my 30-day extension, they told me to come back in 30 days to get my answer and hopefully to pick up the extension. And if you think about this for 10 seconds, you can see that this makes no sense at all. I asked for permission to be in Bangladesh for 30 more days, and they said, come back in 30 days for your answer. So if they say yes, it means nothing, because I've already been here. And if they say no, then I'm in really big trouble because I've been in the country for 30 days illegally. No matter which way it plays out, it doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm a little bit nervous, I'm a little bit stressed out. Anyway, enough babbling, it's time to go. And I think I'm just gonna catch a CNG. Let's go. Okay, here we go. Heading out onto the street to get my CNG. I've got a piece of paper with the address of the passport office written down, and hopefully that will get me to where I want to go, and hopefully the traffic is not horrendous yet this morning. Time to look for a CNG. Here come a couple. What do you think? The little green beetles zipping around Dhaka. This one looks like he's circling. Coming in, coming in. Agargaon?
Agargaon.
Yeah. Immigration office?
Dhaka Passport Office.
Yeah, you know?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We're heading off on my next CNG adventure. We left at 8:45, so even if it takes an hour to get there, I'll still get there before the ticket window opens. So I can sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. As far as the price goes, when I got into this CNG, I noticed that the meter was not turned on and it's not working. So I just asked him how much. I was already inside the CNG, so he was in a pretty good bargaining position, but he just said something like 300 Dhaka, so that's fine with me. I'm very curious to see what happens when I show up at immigration. A friend of mine has gone through this process, and it was totally different. For him, they told him to come back in 3 days to get his extension. For me, it was 30 days. But he also said that when he went there to pick it up, he had to wait the whole day, which again doesn't make a lot of sense because I have a slip for a pickup. You should be able to just give them the slip and pick it up. So I might end up waiting there all day. I might just walk in the door, pick it up, and walk out again. You just never know. You really just never know. I don't want to jinx myself, but so far this trip is going much faster than my first one. On my first trip to immigration by CNG, we hit huge traffic jams almost immediately, and we were stuck in traffic. But we seem to be just zooming along. We just arrived at the Passport and Immigration office. It took about 45 minutes to get here, so I still have half an hour for the ticket window to open up. Yeah, that CNG trip was a bit of an endurance test though. We were moving faster than before, a lot of shaking from side to side, a lot of bumping, and by the time you get here, you're ready to get out. And just like last time, when my poor CNG driver arrived here, the guys controlling the traffic flow just freaked out on him. They were screaming at him, they were beating on his CNG with sticks. They were really giving him a hard time. He was trying to drop me off, but they wouldn't let him stop anywhere. Even here, quite a wide open area with lots of room, no traffic. He pulled in here, and these guys, like this guy over here with the stick, just descended on him and just started yelling at him and beating on his CNG. So I don't know quite what the big deal is about parking here, but they don't like it one little bit. It's time to go in and see what's going on. Do I get my visa extension? Am I an illegal alien? I'm about to find out. I got here just in time. They are just turning on the machine where you get your number for a pickup or drop off or whatever. And that's the machine over there. She's dusting it off and getting it ready. When I was here last time, I quickly learned how important your token is. And I got a quick lesson in that again today, because I have a detailed receipt for my visa extension application, but in order to get the token, I actually have to give them the receipt. There's a woman at the machine. She took away my receipt and then gave me this token. So at the moment, the only proof I have that of anything that I've applied for a visa extension is this tiny little piece of paper that was spit out of the machine. So don't lose that. As I was sitting in the CNG coming to the passport office, I was looking at Google Maps and I realized that the Liberation War Museum is like half a kilometer away. So I can combine my bureaucratic day here with a tourism day. If things go well here, then I can just walk down the street and go to the museum. So I might do that next. For now, I just go in here, sit down, and wait for my token number to be called, and cross my fingers the whole time. They called my number.
দেখেন আমি বলি আমি আসছি আমার বাচ্চার জন্য আমি এগুলো সব কিছুই পরে বলছি বার্থ সার্টিফিকেট রাখবো আচ্ছা ওই দাঁড়িয়ে আছে যে স্যার বললেন আমার পাসপোর্ট
Yeah, that's me. B12. Yeah.
আচ্ছা ওনার এটা আজকে সাবমিট নেবেন না নাকি নিব আমি রেখে দেব এটা যে পাবে তার সেকশন
I'm outside the Passport and Immigration office now, and unfortunately, things didn't work out the way they were supposed to. I thought I was picking up my visa. I had to slip to come in at 10 o'clock and pick up my visa, but the actual process is I come in at 10 o'clock, hand in my passport, come back at 3 o'clock, and in theory, the visa will be in my passport at that time. So that's the way it goes, you know, there's nothing you can do about bureaucracy. Come back at 3 o'clock. I'm being very lighthearted about this whole process, but seriously, it's really crazy. As I said, they had 30 days to do whatever it is they needed to do to process my visa application. It makes no sense at all to come back on the day you're supposed to pick it up and they tell you to come back in 5 hours. I don't think anyone on the planet could look at that system and say, that makes sense. That's a system that's logical and really works. Luckily, there is the National Liberation War Museum here, and I can go visit that while I'm waiting. My visit to the Liberation War Museum is over. It's almost 2 o'clock, and I was told to go back to immigration at 3 o'clock, so it's getting close to that time. And it turns out that there is a second museum in this neighborhood. There is the Bangladesh Air Force Museum, maybe a kilometer away from here. So I might walk down there and check that out, see if I can squeeze that attraction in before I deal with my visa extension. Let's go. Welcome to another small Dhaka adventure. I'm trying to visit the Bangladesh Air Force Museum, which from pictures I've seen looks like it's kind of outdoor, looks like it's designed kind of for children, where they have a lot of jets and helicopters and airplanes all out on a field, like actual planes, and you can go walk right up to them and look at them and take pictures. Unfortunately, I have to find it first. So far, I'm not doing very well. Here's the intersection where I'm standing, and I have a vague sense that the museum is over there. And I've been walking around and around and around, and I can't find the entrance. So far, I stepped in a huge pile of dog. I saw a dog get hit by a car and killed, but still no museum. So we're going to keep walking and see if we can find it. Thanks. And I think I'm going to give up. This is what I'm looking at, to try and head in that direction, and it's impossible. I decided to make one more attempt at finding the Bangladesh Air Force Museum before I gave up. And I can just see the tip of an airplane over there, so I know it's over there. But there is no way on earth I'm getting past this road and this construction site. Apparently this is part of the development for the subway system for Dhaka. And they've completely blocked off this area. I'm not even going to try to get across. So it's time to head back to visit my arch nemesis, the immigration office. See if 30 days and 5 hours was enough for them to finally put that stamp in my passport. Let's go find out. And there's the sign, visa counter, 4th floor. I'm back to see what happened. Well, the magic time is come and gone. It's after 3 o'clock, and I'm here at immigration. I was waiting for the sign above the window to start counting the numbers, like V, now serving V1, V2, V12, which is my number, but nothing is changing, and all that's happening is that people just crowd around the window and hope that someone shows up with some passports or something, and they just yell through the window, someone gets service, and then the clerk just disappears again for 10 minutes, and that's all that's happening. So I guess I just have to go up there and join that crowd around the window and just sort of stand there and wait until something happens. That seems to be the only system in place. No system at all. Let's see if I can do a quick summary of what just happened. I'm outside of immigration now. It's 20 to 4. And I guess it's a happy ending, as happy as it can get, because I have my passport and I have my visa extension. 2 issues though. One was that chaos around the window. For whatever reason, they just let people crowd around that window, shoving papers through and calling on clerks, and then the clerks will sometimes show up and they'll do something and then they run away. And it created this air of panic amongst all the people there, wondering, what do I have to do? You know, they told me to come in at 3 o'clock and pick up my passport, but now no one knows what to do at 3 o'clock. So everybody just dives at that window, and the crowd got bigger and bigger, and we're all pushing and shoving and waving our paper at the window. And all that time, it turns out there was kind of a system. Someone somewhere was working on all the passports, and at about 3:30 they brought in the whole stack of passports and started handing them out one by one according to the token numbers. So this is kind of a pet peeve of mine. I love systems, I love organization, but if you have a system, it doesn't do any good if you don't tell anybody about it. So no one at any point told the people at immigration what their system was, which created this feeling of panic in the entire room. And when the woman came out with all the passports, she got angry with us. She started yelling at us to go sit down, get out of here, you crazy people, sit down, I'll call you. She was blaming us for the hysteria and the panic. She thought we were being rude by crowding the window, but they were the ones who created the whole situation to begin with. So that was issue number one. Issue number two is the visa extension that I ended up getting. I applied for a 30-day extension, and they gave me a 7-day extension. But the 7-day extension begins from today, so it adds up to 30 days, but it doesn't cover the dates between my last visa expiring and today. Those 20 days, no, those 23 days are completely unaccounted for in my passport, which makes no sense at all. But I have a passport, and I think I'm good to go. And it's rush hour now, and the next stage is to get a CNG back to my hotel. And if I can accomplish that, I can collapse and call it a day. Another day in Bangladesh. And I think I'll end the video there on this epic day, and I'll see you in the next video. I know I ended the video, but this is a quick epilogue. I'm back at my hotel now, finally. I took a CNG from immigration, and we went straight out into gridlock, like classic Dhaka gridlock that just seemed to go on and on and on. The CNG driver would shut off his engine because we weren't moving, and then he'd suddenly turn it on, jerk forward like 3 feet, shut it off again. And this just went on for so long that it felt like we were never going to get anywhere. And eventually I just gave up to his shock and horror. I paid him for the full trip and just got out and told him that I would walk the rest of the way. And walking here was far faster than it would have been taking the CNG. What I end up thinking about is all the poor people that live here permanently. I did this trip to immigration just like once in 30 days. It's a special occasion for me. But I have to believe that people here do it every day. I mean, I don't know the full extent of their daily rhythms, but people here must wake up in the morning, commute to work, and then work all day, and at the end of the day commute home again. How do they do it? I have no idea how they do it. It would take so long to get from here to there, and from there back to here. You might as well just stay home. There wouldn't be any time to be there. It would take you that long. Yeah, it's really quite something. Anyway, I just wanted to add that little story about my trip home and say that I am here, I made it, and I have, after all that effort, after all that worry, all that time, all that money, I have my 7-day visa extension. That was a lot of work for 7 days. I better make the most of them. The bonus question for the last video was, how many divisions are there in Bangladesh? The answer is 8. There are 8 divisions in Bangladesh. The 8 divisions are divided into 64 districts, and the districts are divided into 522 upajila, or maybe it's upazila. I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly. And upajila is similar to a county in Canada. The bonus question for this video is, of course, about visas and passports. Some passports are better for travel. They allow you to get into more countries more easily. Which passport is the most powerful in the world? Which one is the best for travel? Put your answer in the comments below. Answer at the end of the next video. I also noticed this sign when I was here last time, and it confused me a lot. It says Bangladesh Visa with an MRV, and I had no idea why those letters were so big, or even what they meant. And I found out later that it means machine-readable visa, which is what you get here. Either they're very proud that they're machine-readable, or something else. I have no idea why the sign has such big letters MRV on it.